Welcome to the next episode of Waterpark Rangers Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode, we were continuing through the second dungeon of the game, Forbidden Woods, and we got this new item, the boomerang, which helps a lot in defeating the enemies of this dungeon as well as hitting multiple targets at once. We are right now in an optional room that has an optional thing to get. And of course, because it's 100%, we're basically obligated to get it. But it's no problem, because the boomerang basically just sweeps everything in here. Another interesting detail is because this is like the bottom floor of the dungeon, the walls actually have fossils and stuff in them because you're kind of underground. Another interesting little detail. And from here we can use the Baba Bud to launch ourselves up to a higher spot. I should mention that if you're playing with the Tingle Tuner, you can actually get one of the Tingle statues here if you Tingle Bomb one of the small, seemingly pointless bits of land that are kind of in the corners of the room. I don't know exactly which one it is. Anyway... Oh, whoa! What was that? Oh, crap, that was just like in Dragon Roost. Hold on a second, we'll cut ahead. Alright, now that we're back here, geez, Link's jumping is just getting more and more spastic. We're just gonna grab that bomb flower and, take it to the center platform of the room, or the center island. Just throw it from here. You don't need to use the deck leaf to bring yourself closer. It'll fall through there and destroy the eye flower that was previously blocking us from getting this treasure chest. Now that we can open it up, we can get the dungeon's other treasure chart. It's really quite a clever puzzle here, I suppose, because you can normally just crawl through here, and you'll find the treasure chest, and you'll be like, huh, how do I get that flower to be exploded? It's kind of like Zack and Wiki, I suppose. It kind of reminds me of that. It's a very Zelda-esque game, which actually has very difficult puzzles. It's interesting, too, because it's cel-shaded, just like Wind Waker is. I never really got that far in it, mainly because it was too difficult. Maybe I'm just not a fan of that much a degree of trial and error in a game. Anyway, that aside... Oh, there was a ladder right there. I was a total idiot. We should have climbed up there. We're just going to use a ladder and bring down that flower that we cut down last episode to get into that optional room. Can I do it with another spin attack? I think so. Let's give it a shot. Nice. Oh, Octorox. That's annoying. So basically, we'll just use the deck relief to fan ourselves in certain directions, kind of like a propeller to get down this river. I'm intending to just run into it using the flower. It's more entertaining than knocking back the rocks. Yeah, somehow if the flower just touches them, they die. It's very weird. I'm not going to bother to figure it out, how that works. It's not like we can really get hurt that much by them anyway. There we go. The river Octorox are dispatched. Oh, and a heart. That's very nice. The boomerang can grab things like hearts and rupees, just in case you're wondering. We're going to roll past here, past those vines of steel magic, because they're a pain, and they constantly grow back even if you cut them off. Also, it's never quite clear what those things are called. Everything else in the game basically has a name. Some people have guessed that they might be Tails Parisons from Ocarina of Time, which are also very uncommon enemies that appear only inside Jabu Jabu's belly. But enough of that. We are going to hit all these crystals. No particular order, you just have to make sure you've targeted them all, and the boomerang can sweep and hit them all. It also opens up that grate down there. Well, of course, that's what it does. And it gives us access to the big key. I was almost about to call it the boss key. I'm being very careful about that. I want to be very correct about what I call things. Except, of course, in Pikmin, where I call the Sheer Grips termites. But never mind that. We have the big key. That's all that's important. Oh, yeah, and then these Kargaroks drop 2 Moblins for us to fight. Believe it or not, they're actually far easier than before, thanks to the boomerang. And we can use the grappling hook to steal their spoils more easily. Not that it really matters, because they seem to just about always drop them in fights. These are the kind of enemies that will almost always leave one of those item pearls behind. As you can see, it takes a little bit more deft manipulation and stuff when fighting them to kind of like dodge their attacks. But it's not too tough. The boomerang helps a lot because you can stun them and get them to drop their guard, which is something they tend to keep up a lot of the time. But also note that when they don't have their spears, they can still hit you pretty hard with a punch. You can block that just as you can block their spears by using your shield. So it's really not that much of a problem. Now, something that's very easy to miss here is it shows a door opening up. And the door down there is still blocked by vines. So you might be wondering, like, where's the other door? It's actually up here. And I remember sometimes I just completely forgot that this door was here. So I would literally save and then turn off the game and then turn it on again to go to the beginning of the dungeon. The truth is you can escape by grappling up there and then swinging out here. And now we are no longer outdoors, we are indoors. And I guess this room can't really be, strictly speaking, underground, because you can still see the sky from pretty well up there. Or can you? It's all very confusing the way this dungeon is laid out. Anyway, it's certainly much larger than it appears from the outside, as with just about any island with a dungeon on it. So the idea there is just to hit the propeller to trigger wind somehow from underneath the flower. I don't know how that works. The flower, I guess, just magically knows how to do this windy thing. And then you use the Baba Bud to just fly up here. Now with a boomerang, we can get through this last hallway here. It has 2 Mothulas. They're the running kind. They're still plenty annoying. Oh, I timed it wrong. I wanted to hit both of them, but I guess I'm not that lucky. Come on, let's get a good hit in. There we go. If you hit them normally once, it'll cause them to shoot the morphs out at you, which is really annoying. So I recommend going after them with a jump attack or a parry, because that'll finish them off in one hit. And when they're finished off that way, they won't be able to use morphs on you. Anyway, you get a joy pendant for defeating them, which is literally like the 5th one in this dungeon. It's kind of ridiculous how many there are here. So now that we've got that, we can proceed to the end of the hallway that was previously blocked off by the vines that appeared. And within it, we find many pine cones. You can try breaking them for all kinds of crap. Mostly, though, they contain choo-choos and morphs. That'll be annoying. I think one has a fairy if you really need it. I recommend just burning off the top of the warp jar here to save time in case you lose against this boss. I don't believe I've ever lost to this boss before, even on the first time I played the game. Though it was kind of confusing for me at first, so I'll just run you through the strategy for how you defeat it. Basically, it's good to have a good amount of life if this is your first time fighting this guy, because it can be a little bit confusing. It's actually a little bit more obvious how you're supposed to defeat this guy than it looks at first. Anyway, we have the Korok that the Great Deku Tree sent us in to rescue. And then suddenly, it is eaten by a weird-looking Bokobaba, which is quite a bit stronger than the normal variety. And no, you cannot defeat it in one hit with a boomerang, I don't think. If you could, that would be ridiculous. I doubt that really works. Anyways, you can see it's hoisted up using those tentacles, and it has bigger ones that it will use to attack us with. So what you gotta do is actually just use your boomerang and focus on the tentacles that are holding it up. You can't really do anything to the large ones except try and avoid them. When they go underground like that, it means they're gonna try and hit you by bursting up to attack in 2 separate bursts. So if you think you've dodged the first one, keep moving because the second is also gonna go after you. After you've cut all the vines, just run into the center, and then target slash away like crazy. Go completely crazy on this guy. It will launch you out after you've hit it quite a few times. And you'll take, 1 heart of damage, so just make sure that you have the life energy to resist that. And then back off, because it's going to attack with all the tentacles at once, right after it is knocked down. Oh, so it's doing that digging thing again. Okay, let's just... Oh crap, we're a little bit close. I forget how much damage that does, but I don't want to get hit by it. I mean, look, a bunch of friggin' sickles on powerful vines. Alright. Whoa, it only took 1 more hit? Are you kidding me? So yeah, this guy's like the weakest boss in the game, I'm pretty sure. Though damage is more guaranteed than when fighting Goma. This is probably the easiest boss, definitely the quickest to defeat. And yeah, that brings us to the end of this boss. We're going to be grabbing the heart container, because this is not a 3-heart run, although he's plenty easy to defeat with 3 hearts, as you can imagine, especially after being a veteran of the game, if I do dare say myself. Anyway, one thing I should mention is that if you're using an action replay, you can get a pretty funny glitch to appear on this guy. You can actually just use the Mega Jump to jump over him and not even have to cut the tentacles, and then just beat the crap out of him without even knocking him down by finishing him off from the inside. When that happens, the flower just falls open, and if you use the boomerang to cut it to the ground then, it'll actually come back to life as a zombie, and you won't be able to defeat it because you defeated the core earlier. It's a very funny little secret. It doesn't really have anything to do with what you're doing now, and on that note, let us bring this episode to a hasty conclusion. We will get the pearl next episode, and I will see you then.